Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Blacklogic. Have a couple of stories for you guys this evening. We're going to talk about Trump's remarks to relocate Gazans to Egypt as well as Jordan. We're going to talk about how the CIA came out and was stating that they have low confidence that the COVID-19 virus came from a Wuhan lab in China, but still on a positive manner that is confirming what most of us already know, at least what we think we know. Because again, we're getting our information from all of the sources, and who is really telling the truth? And hopefully this can come out sooner than later. But nonetheless, I want to share with you with this because President Trump has recently proposed relocating Palestinians from Gaza Strip to Egypt and Jordan, aiming to clean out Gaza amidst ongoing conflicts. I want to know what he means by clean out Gaza. Now, we understand that Gaza is in rumbles and is in shambles. It's a total demolished area because of the war between Hamas and Israel. Is this a way for them to have the cities to be vacant so they can clean them out and rebuild structures there that will be for Gazans, by the way, Palestinians? Is that it? Or is it some of the rhetoric that I heard and some of the rumors that Netanyahu did this to take over Gaza because it's near a water source and that he's going to own that, Israel's going to own that real estate, taking more Palestinian land? I don't know. I'm just asking questions because Donald Trump discussed these ideas with the Jordan King Abdullah II and planned to address it with Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, because this particular proposal marks a very significant shift from previous U.S. policies, which have traditionally supported a two-state solution. So both Egypt and Jordan have firmly rejected Trump's proposal. They know we don't want any Palestinians here that are refugees, that are asylum seekers. You see, when these other countries do it, it's perfectly okay. But not you, America. You can't refuse refugees and asylum seekers. Then we'll be looked at, we'll be called all sorts of very inflammatory names from the world, from the countries from around the world. And Jordan's foreign minister, Ahmed Safahidi, emphasized that such displacement and destabilize the region and infringe upon Palestinian rights. Because also in Egypt, officials have expressed concerns about the potential demographic and security implication of absorbing a large number of refugees. What in the world the Egyptian officials did say? They said the same thing I state. When you start to accept large groups of people and you have them to mesh with your large group of people, right? You guys have the same culture. You sort of had these cultural conflicts and cultural contradictions. That's what they said. It's Egyptian officials have expressed concerns about the potential demographic and security implications. And this potential proposal has sparked controversy, with critics arguing that relocated Palestinians could disrupt the stability of neighboring countries and alter their demographics. So everybody is worried about the neighboring countries. And again, if we reference this to America, nobody cares. Now, because I understand that America is definitely a melting pot, just as large parts of the UK are melting pots, where you see people from all over the country in large numbers. But what people don't understand, even though that America makes up a very diverse group of people, we all share the same culture. We're talking about Americans, people who've been here for generations, not people who've just been here one or two, but we're talking about people 3 and beyond. Right. And a lot of those people from other countries, if they have been here 4 to 6 generations, they have adopted and adapted to some of our holidays, to some of our American culture, some of our American customs. So it's very different. And that's what they're saying right here. That's what the critics are saying, that this could disrupt the stability of neighboring countries and alter their demographics. What do you think is happening to America? I'm just asking questions because maybe, I'm the only one referring to it. And even though there's a ceasefire or there was a ceasefire, Israeli forces killed 22 people in South Lebanon as residents try to return, Lebanese authorities say. And I told you at one point in time, before the ceasefire with Gaza, by the way, Palestine, Israel was in a four-headed war. They was at war with Hamas. They was at war with Hezbollah. Okay. War, and I think Hezbollah is out of Lebanon nonetheless. They was in war with Syria. They had invaders in Syria. They were firing rockets at Syria's navy, almost destroyed the entire navy. So yeah, there's a lot of fighting going on right now in the Middle East. And unfortunately, Israel is at the center of it. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of this story as well. CIA now backs lab leak theory to explain origins of COVID-19. Because the CIA has concluded with, again, low confidence, that the COVID-19 pandemic likely originated from a laboratory leak in Wuhan, China. Now, this aligns with the agency, with the FBI and the Energy Department, which have previously supported the lab leak theory. Because the CIA initially had no definitive position on the virus origin. The CIA, we don't know. We're the Central Intelligence Agency. We have agents from around the world, and we don't know where COVID-19 came from. Considering both natural transmission and laboratory mishaps as plausible. We don't know. We're some of the most trained intelligence spies in the world, but we don't know. And everybody know the CIA, they kind of do their own thing. We see a lot of spy movies, so we already think the CIA can do what the hell they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. And if you don't agree with them, they just hide you out of some black site, or they just, get rid of you. A lot of people don't really play with the CIA because we don't know what powers they have. Are they more powerful than the president? Don't forget, the CIA director is just a figurehead. I'm talking about the agents that you don't know. Now, this new assessment from the CIA marks a very significant shift in the CIA stance, because this is about the ongoing evaluations of emerging intelligence. Like, we're still finding out a lot of things that we didn't know. So there are ongoing investigations, and we now see that the CIA isn't involved. The CIA, the FBI, Interpol, there's a lot of law enforcement agencies around the world still trying to investigate where in the heck did COVID-19 come from. Now, the Chinese government has consistently rejected the lab leak theory, labeling it as a political manipulation. Like, this is not true. This didn't occur in China. Are we serious right now? Isn't China also responsible for Ebola, but they blamed it on Africa? Aren't they also responsible for SARS, and they lied about that? Aren't they also responsible for the bird flu? So again, that's just double speak. This is manipulation, stating that, this is political manipulation, because this new assessment to a lot of people, especially in the worldwide news, it's likely to further strain between the U.S. and China relations and may intensify debates within the international community regarding the pandemic origins. Because despite the CIA's new assessment, the origins of COVID-19 remain very, very inconclusive. The spy community continues to explore both natural and laboratory-based scenarios, emphasizing the need for comprehensive investigation to uncover the truth. I wonder if anybody ever thinks that things haphazardly naturally occur in nature. Now, me personally, if I would ask a random person, like, do you believe that COVID-19 somehow just transformed itself, just formed itself in nature, just some sort of COVID-19 cloud or mist, or someone tracked in COVID-19 land after nature concocted or created it and infected everybody? Most people will say no. They're like, it was created. Then I started to think about something that most people may not think about. What about the pollutants and chemicals and waste materials we dump in the water and we burn and it goes into the atmosphere, or we bury it? What happens with all of these things? How does it materialize in earth? How does it pollute the waterways? You guys ever think about that? I'm not saying COVID came from there, but how is that affecting us? Is some new bacteria or fungus have been formed? I don't know. Trump imposes tariff sanctions on Colombia after it refuses deportation flights. Are you guys familiar with a lot of the stories that's going on, how Colombia and a lot of other Latin American countries refuse to take back their citizens because the Colombian president, Gustavo Petro, announced that his government will block the U.S. military aircraft carrying deported Colombians, and he did. He refused to allow them to land in the country. So this right here is a part of a very broader stance against President Trump's aggressive immigration crackdown, because the president of Colombia emphasized that migrants, illegal immigrants, should be treated with dignity and not as criminals. He insisted that if deportations are to occur, they must be conducted respectfully, using civilian planes and without treating individuals like criminals. That's very interesting. Not to treat illegal immigrants as criminals. Again, not to treat illegal immigrants from our country like criminals. Illegal, criminal. There's a connection there. I can't find it. But that is what the president of Colombia is stating. There's a lot of tension in Latin America right now because the president of Colombia is stating, well, if you're going to fly over a lot of the refugees and asylum seekers, these are human beings, fly them on passenger jets, fly them on commercial flights, fly them on civilian planes. Huh? See, here's where the problems lie. President Trump, he proposed that this is a national emergency. So he's using his federal power to use military equipment and military troops. So to us, in a national emergency, he can use federal troops to do exactly what he's doing. And he's flying them on military planes. But to another country like Colombia, they're stating, well, those people went to America for asylum. So people from Central America came to America for asylum. What is asylum seeker? Someone who is fearing political prosecution. So if we're sending them back to you, shouldn't you want them back if they're fearing political prosecution? Or are they just fleeing the country because America has been built to be the most prosperous, powerful country in the world? And this is where the opportunities lie. Now, I have a clip for you guys of what, I don't, let me see if I can get this on my, I think it was on my Instagram of Brandon Johnson. He pulled out the black card. Brandon Johnson. He pulled out the black card. I want to see if I can find this. Okay, I think it's on my phone. Let me see if you guys, let me make sure I get this correct. Let me make sure I get this. I'm going to throw this on my Twitter. Give me 1 second. I really want you guys to see this. I'm going to post this on my Twitter, and then we're going to go over there and watch, because I have another clip for you guys as well. But we're going to go over my Twitter and watch, excuse me, Brandon Johnson. Okay, give me 1 second here. Let me see. I was trying to find this clip. Well, I might just have to show it on my phone. I don't think I'm good at Twitter just yet. Let's see here. Oh, they got me live. All right, that's good. But you see, I don't see my post. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys right here. I want you guys to see this clip of Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago. Let me see if I can blow this up.
1,000 Ukrainians sought asylum here in the city of Chicago. Nobody said a mumbling word. But all of a sudden, indigenous people who are trying to get to a land that was robbed from them through colonization, they want me as a black man to be mad at them? You gotta be out of your freaking mind. Now, what I do find interesting is that when 30,000 Ukrainians sought asylum here in the city of Chicago, nobody said a mumbling word. But all of a sudden, indigenous people who are trying to get to a land that was robbed from them through colonization, they want me as a black man to be mad at them?
Okay. The problem with that is, I understand the point that Brandon Johnson is making, but it doesn't make any sense. Because he said 30,000 Ukrainian refugees that they were brought to America. Yeah, they were brought to America because of the relationship between Biden and President Zelensky, and taking 30,000 refugees whose town was destroyed between Russia. And then they started, other countries from around Ukraine started to take refugees as well. The difference between 30,000 Ukrainians and 10 million or 11 million people from Central America is a very, very difference in number. Even if you just took, and again, we know a large concentration of our illegal immigrants are coming from Mexico, but they are still coming from Costa Rica, Colombia. They're coming from Honduras. Okay, they're coming from Ecuador, Venezuela. They're coming from all these different Latin countries. But nonetheless, we have over 11 million illegal Hispanic immigrants, as well as another 2 million that makes up of Indians, Haitians, Chinese, and other ethnic groups in Eastern Europe. Some of them are white as well. So there's not a comparison there, Brandon Johnson. You can't compare what the government has signed to bring over 30,000 refugees versus people entering the country illegally. And you talking about them being indigenous people. Here's the thing. I hate to, pop his bubble, but they lost the war. European countries have been doing conquest for a very long time. Pillage, kill, and conquer. Pillage, kill, and conquer. That is the Western and Eastern European culture. And when they take over land, it's only up to their good graces that they give the land back to you. Guess what America's not doing? America is not giving Mexico back Texas. They're not giving Mexico back Arizona. They're not giving Mexico back California. They're not giving it back. They're not giving it back. There's all sorts of lands that have been taken over because of war and conquest. And sometimes land has been given up to avoid war. So I have no idea what Brandon Johnson is talking about. You are a United States mayor of one of the largest cities. See, maybe he's in the wrong position. Maybe he's ill-informed. I really don't think he's the man for the job, let alone before the whole migrant crisis. But really, I don't think he's the man for the job. And last but not least, this goes for Americans, no matter the demographic you're from, right? White, black, Asian, Hispanic, doesn't matter. Don't matter your race, ethnic. And I showed this before, but I want to show it again. Because this is the reason why a lot of these illegal immigrants flock to our country. Because this lady is going to explain why you should not go to their countries. Now, I'm not just speaking about Africa. No, 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 no. I'm speaking about a lot of countries that operate like this. There are some Eastern European countries that operate like this. A lot of African countries, Caribbean countries, Central American countries, South American countries that operate what she's about to explain. And that is why we have almost every single race, ethnic, creed, everything in America, because people are fleeing their countries to enjoy, and again, it's hurting Americans in some sense, the best country in the world. Listen in.
Americans that are moving to Nigeria. I don't understand. You guys went to Nigeria for visits, for vacation. You experienced all the bubbling and all the craziness that is going on in Nigeria, and you realize that that is the type of life that you want to move. That is what you want to do. That is where you want to relocate. If anybody who has a Nigerian breed, Nigerian blood, is doing that, we will understand, because at some point they will fit in. But for you guys, already you guys are very proud and pompous living in your own country. Now you pack your bag and baggages, you relocate to Nigeria. One of you has been duped. One of you is on internet crying and saying that she packed all her bag and baggages, all her hard-earned money, relocated to Nigeria, bought lands, and everything, all her money went down the drain. The people that are over you and beyond you that has that money, they've done it to invest in Nigeria. They did not come out with anything. But you guys decided that you wanted to relocate to Nigeria. When Davido said it on social media that African American moving back to Nigeria, you guys cannot survive because your life is not built for Nigeria. You were reading comment section when he was being bashed. And the people already know that he was saying the truth. You guys' life is not built, it's not meant for Nigeria. Nigeria has laws, but it doesn't work.
I'm sorry. She said Nigeria has laws and, very firm, and then come back and say, but they do not work. Can we hear that one more time? I promise I won't pause it. I'm gonna let it finish. We're almost done. Bear with me. I just want you to hear all of this.
Laws, but it doesn't work. It works for some people, it doesn't work for some people. Nigeria has laws, but it doesn't work. It works for some people, it doesn't work for some people. And I'm very sure that you are not going to be the part of the people that Nigerian law is going to work for. You guys had better rethink, because a lot of you now are on social media and saying that, oh, we pay every month in America. In Nigeria, they pay yearly. It's so cheap to live in Nigeria. Wait. Una eyes go clear. Una eyes go pale. You all will learn. You will learn in a hard way. You have no Nigerian blood flowing and running in you. You have no Nigerian system flowing and running in you. Even we, that we are from Nigeria, we are thinking it through 3, 4, 5 times over before we make that decision. We are even yet to make that decision. And you just think that all your life in America, born and bred in America, you now want to carry your everything that you have.
All right, good. Finished. Now, I saw this and I responded to this. Okay, I responded to this and I said, translation. And this is the people who are wanting to go to Nigeria and live a better life or a cheaper life. You're not Nigerian, and we discriminate against non-Nigerians. This is my translation. This is very opinionated. We will scam, rob, and kill if you're not Nigerian. Our country is corrupt, and our laws do not work. Why leave the greatest country in the world to save a couple of dollars? Good luck. That is my translation that she was referring to. Now, someone in the comment section, Tom says, I'm not white, black, etc., and I'm American. Now, we are all American, But according to America, I keep it very neutral here, Tom. Please subscribe to the channel. I keep it very neutral. I'm American too. Been American. My family been American. Black Americans who are foundational to the land been American since at least 1526 when we first landed here till it became a country in 1776, July 4th, the independence from the British. I digress. Long story. We can have that conversation. Nevertheless, according to the U.S., let me show you this. According to the U.S., okay, and this was updated on March 28th of last year. It stated the U.S. Bureau must adhere to the 1997 Office of Management. Hold on. Office of Management and Budget Standards on Race and Ethnicity, which guides the Census Bureau in classifying written responses to the race questions. Whites. Who are white people considered in America? A person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, that means Middle Easterners, and North Africa, like Algeria, for example. Okay? So they are considered white when they come to America. What's considered black or African American? We got to cover them both. A person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. Why? Why do they say black racial groups? Because they can't say country, because South Africa was conquered by the Danish, also known as the Boers or the Afrikaners. And they can't say North Africa because that was conquered by the Middle Easterners by the way of Egypt and Algeria and Mali, northern part of Mali. Algeria, northern part of Algeria, and so on and so forth. So they can't, so they have to say black racial groups of Africa. That's interesting. Then American Indian, Alaska Native, a person having origin in any of the original peoples of North and South America, including Central America, who maintains tribal affiliation or community attachment. Like, you can't even be considered an American Indian or an Alaskan Native unless you are tied to some sort of tribe. Someone have to recognize you as such, right? They mean they have treaties, they have organizations, they have, the tribal council, they have all these things. Asians, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of the Far East, Southeast Asia, or the Indian subcontinent, including, for example, Cambodia, China, India, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Pakistan, the Philippine Islands, Thailand, and Vietnam. Then you have Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, which they can kind of mix in with the American Indians, I believe, but they won't do that because, again, they're islanders. American Indians are islanders as well, but you got pygmies mixed in here a lot, but nonetheless. Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islanders, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Hawaii, Guam, Samoa, or other Pacific Islands. So again, I love when people say that, hey, I'm not black, I'm not white, I'm not Asian, I'm just American. Well, American is your nationality. And your nationality by the Census.gov Bureau actually recognizes your race. So regardless if you think you are something other than what America deems you as, I'm just letting you know what America look at you as. Okay? All right. I thank you all for joining me here this evening. You guys have a great and wonderful Sunday evening. I'll see you guys in the morning. This is Blacklogic.